Hello everyone, and welcome to the Easton Homestead channel here on YouTube. Hope you're doing well today. Today we are pond side, and the weather has finally gotten past the frost point here in northwest Indiana. I actually had made the mistake of the day after Mother's Day putting some plants in the ground, which the frost ended up killing, so thank goodness it was just a handful of tomato plants that I had grown from seed, but I have others still inside, so we'll show you a planting video a little bit later on. But today we're going to put in our aquaponics with our cucumbers, so I'm going to walk you through it. Just stick with us. So this is the pond. Got the aerator going since I'm going to have the pump off for a little bit here. And I've got the rose bush now growing really well over it to give it just a little bit of shade. And we got about, I would guess, 11, 12 fish in there. We have some babies that we just noticed this year, and they must be at least a year old because they're getting pretty big now. But anyway, they will produce the waste for my aquaponics system. So I have a pump down here, and let me zoom in here. The pump moves the water into my homemade filter. Now my homemade filter is hidden by plants, which is just how I want it, but it's got 3 compartments. So the first compartment has pea gravel in it, the second compartment has sand in it, and the third compartment has activated carbon in it. So what we're going to do, first we're going to get the activated carbon out because we want that fish waste, and the fish waste is what the activated carbon filters out. So we're going to get that out of there, we're going to change the sand, and we're going to clean out the gravel. And then we're just going to keep one chamber of gravel in here, and then one of sand in there, but kind of light on the sand because we want a lot of that waste to come out up into here. And then what we're going to do is in that top bucket, we're going to put this. Now inside this bucket we have lots of pea gravel, and it has slats on the bottom under the board so that it can drain out the bottom. Now what I did is I took bigger rocks. I dig down in here, you can kind of see I have big flat rocks in here too, so that when the water comes in, it will hit, I'll show you later, the bamboo thing that I have in here and spread out, and then the big rocks will keep some of the moisture and things up there towards the top before it drains out so that my plants can really take root. I grow cucumbers in here because for some reason it works really well. We're in direct sunlight, nice beautiful sunny day here, and so we're going to get this hooked up for you and show you how it works. We have taken apart and cleaned the 3 sections of our homemade filter here for our pond. Like I said, normally there would be carbon in this one. We are not putting carbon in it this time, activated carbon. Instead, we have just a little bit of sand in this one. This one's empty, and then that one has rocks in it, as you can tell. So we're gonna put that back together and put it back in place. There should be a lot bigger flow than there was before, and then we will assemble everything and show you how it works. Now that we're all hooked back up with our filter diminished a bit so that we can get some of those nutrients from the fish into our aquaponics, we are going to put this bottom hose from the filter where it normally goes in under here. Once we have that in place, we'll slide our front rock back where it goes here. more aesthetic than anything. Now, when we plug in the pump that goes to the filter out of the pond, it will pump into the basin down here, into the bucket down here. Now there's a second pump, a smaller pump, in that bucket, and that's where this comes from. The C-clamp is there so that I can regulate how fast or how slow the feed comes up into this and out this bamboo spout. There's actually a small rubber spout in there, as you can see. Now that will go into this top bucket, which has the medium and the layers like we explained earlier, and it will help filter all those great nutrients to our cucumber plants. So I'm going to put the bamboo in, and then we'll get some plants in there. Alright, we've got our bamboo shoots here set up, so now when the water comes out of here from the bottom tank, which comes from the pond with the fish waste in it, it'll get here and it'll flow down and separate. This is actually angled backwards, so it should disperse pretty well in there, and that is the idea. So we have 4 cucumber plants that we planted from seed that we're going to start with here, and then if we want to buy a couple extra plants, we will. We got a good farmers market here where we live, so that might be something we do there, but we'll plant them here and here and here and here. We'll show you once we get them to the ground and get the whole system running. We've turned on our bottom pump first to let our bucket fill up. We know it's full because our water falls at a steady pace. So that's the rate at which that bucket is filling up. And then this next pump will just cycle water through. And we may have to make some adjustments here, but here we go. First opportunity, first test here. There we go. We are plugged in. Just about the kind of flow that I want. We'll angle that. Alright. Okay, so you can see what's happening here. Got a good back angle on it. Once that bamboo fills up, it'll flow out of the top of the bamboo. And I may need to make small adjustments, but you can see basically how it goes. Alright, it's running exactly how it should now. I put a little crack in it and made a little rock barrier. And now I don't know if you'll be able to see under it, but we are getting a little trickle, getting a little separation there. So, this is good. This is good. Well, here is the finished product. We have our cucumbers looking healthy, except for this little guy who I'm hoping will pull through. But 4 cucumber plants, once they get bigger, I'll put a little trellis over the top of them and they'll be able to vine down, and I'll show you their progress as we go. So that has been our aquaponics setup here at the suburban homestead at the Easton Homestead channel here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Please share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.